Greetings, adventurers. This is DM Kurt. And last night, Critical Role premiered their game from Darrington Press, the Candella Obscura. And they did so by, playing an actual play of Candella Obscura, Season 1, Episode 1. The show went well. The characters were all dressed in Victorian-ish clothes. You had a doctor type, and you had a street urchin type. Okay. Their game went well. They stayed on task of being in the proper theme of this somewhat serious horror-ish mode. Okay, they didn't go silly, goofy. So if you like if you like that, good for you. Enjoy the show. They at Darrington Press have a PDF, the quick start guide for the game. I downloaded it. I looked at it, and here's what I have to think about it. So they give you this setting. The year is 1907. There was a great war where an invading country from far away tried to colonize, invade, whatever, and they got driven off. So the country's still kind of reeling from that. It's just off the coastline. There is a great rift opened up just at the edge of the continental shelf, and now there's like a permanent waterfall right there, right on the edge there. So kind of think of the medieval maps where there'd be a here there be dragons right at the edge of the map. Well, there is a great big don't go there strip in the ocean right off the coastline. So stay close to the beach, kids. You got the big city, you got kind of an open plain, you got some mountains, all your terrain features are covered. And magic exists, but nobody in the general populace really knows about it. And that's where you come in. You're the investigators. There is a bleed from the Fey world, the world of magic-ish dimension, kind of the ethereal plane, astral plane. It's kind of bleeding through into the prime material plane a little bit. And you're going to be investigating and hopefully dealing with these issues. There's going to be some consequence to you dealing with otherworldly things. So there's like bleed points where you've kind of gotten a little bit corrupted by it, and then there's going to be some issues. It's kind of like losing sanity points in Call of Cthulhu. Okay, they have some setting descriptings. There's kind of telling you how the government of that island works, how there's certain societies each trying to do their own thing, and most of them being corrupt in their own way. Setting wise, it sets you up. Okay, there's a little sample adventure. Okay, it sets you up. What I didn't like was the mechanics of the game system itself. You have 3 types of attributes with 3 subtypes each, and you'd have basically kind of like skills, where you'd have 0 to 3 points in each skill. If you want to try a skill check, you roll, I think, 2d6. It's a little vague on that. And you'd add a couple of dice depending on your skill level. You'd add 0 to 3. You also have, in certain attributes, you might have some drive dice, which are like this liquid pool that gets replenished sometimes. So you can pull a few extra dice if you need them, but you only have a limited number of those. And there's a thing called gilded dice. I mean, these are all D6s. They're just different types of D6s. If you use the gilded dice are limited, but if you use them, you roll them and your regular dice. If you choose to take the results of the gilded dice and not the results of the regular dice, then you can replenish the drive dice, and you may or may not want to take the results of the gilded dice, depending on whether or not they're higher or lower than the results on the regular dice. And remember, a 1 to 3 is a fail, a 4 to 5 is a success with a consequence or a limited success, and a 6 on a d6 is a success, a grand success. Sounds like it's just made for skill checks. I didn't see how combat really works in this. I'll have to read through the quick start guide again and again and make sure I get everything down if I really want to play this game, which at this point I'm not inclined to want to do. And it's just because I don't like the way the system is explained. The way Critical Role / Darrington Press explains this, they say, well, the game is Candella Obscura, and this is this setting. And we use the Illuminated Worlds game system. Okay, and this game system is invented by these two people who, they say are really awesome. Okay, cool. But by telling me that this system has a name and the game has a name, that tells me that the two are used together, but they are two separate things. This worries me a little bit for Daggerheart. Now, Daggerheart is their upcoming fantasy role-playing game. If this Illuminated World system is the system they're going to use to play the Daggerheart game on, then they're going to be trying to fight D&D with /WotC/Hasbro with this D6 system as their weapon of choice. I don't like it. I just don't like it. Now, people who are familiar with the Blades in the Dark game tell me that the Illuminated World system is pretty much the same thing, cribbed over from Blades in the Dark. Okay, maybe this is more popular than I think, but I've played D6 systems before. I think my first dice pool systems were Shadowrun, the 1990s editions, and the World of Darkness games were dice pool in roughly the same era. So, I mean, the dice pool system thing, it interests me, but maybe not these ones. So, I don't know what they have in store for Daggerheart. Now, OGGM, who is pretty accurate on his forecasts, tells me that Daggerheart's going to be D20. Okay, maybe. Maybe they're not going to use this funky D6 pool system. Maybe they'll use a D20 system. If so, then I really hope they don't do like Kobold Press is doing with Tales from the Valiant. Kobold Press's idea of a D20 system, coming up forward, is to take the 5e version of D20 and just give it a little bit more power creep. Nope, that's not the way to do it either. I mean, we've already played 5e D&D, and a lot of people have played 5e D&D. Don't try to do your own thing by copying the other guy. Do your own thing. So, when Daggerheart comes out, I hope they have their own really unique and good D20 system, or they have their own unique and good D6 system. And I'm not seeing it quite yet, and this is a bit of a concern. So that's where I'm at. I'm going to give you links for the quick start for the Candella Obscura game, and you can make your own mind up. Thanks for listening, though. DM Card, out.